Hi, how y'all doing today? This is Charlie. I love you, my brothers and sisters. I'm here today for my weekly message. It's been an interesting week this week. Kind of nervous about sharing some of this, not just because it's uncomfortable, it's something new for me, but it's the cool part about stepping into the unknown. Everything's always new. And it's about vulnerability and open yourself up to be vulnerable. And when we truly open ourselves up to be vulnerable, who are we truly being vulnerable to? Well, I think myself from my experience this week, dealing with a lot of emotions, open myself up to feeling things that I didn't even realize subconsciously I was still doing, because that's part of what we're learning and understanding is when we're conscious of anything, we can change it, but we have to be conscious of it first. But anyways, it started off Saturday. I went to a healing with Val. Val, I love you, appreciate you, you're so awesome. Val is very awesome, and what she does is like a past life clearing. And I got in touch with how I was bringing in relationships. It wasn't just about that, but this is the main thing that I've been feeling this week, is how I've been bringing relationships and identifying the patterns that I've been living in this lifetime. And one of the patterns that I really had to totally accept, and this is really being vulnerable for me, because I did not realize how deep this went. And I'm never trying to blame anybody in my past or anything like this, because that's not what it's all about to me. It's about, this is my journey, and never try and take away from anybody else's journey, because I love them and appreciate them being a cooperative component of this journey. But the one thing I had to look at is why, because I desire a relationship in my life. I truly desire a relationship in my life with a beautiful woman, because I know how worthy and deserving I am, but I did not realize why I was drawing the relationships I was drawing to me. But anyways, not trying to make a long story short, like I said, this is very vulnerable, just sharing this with you, because not because I'm ashamed of it, it's just new. It's new. But the part that I really got out of this is realizing I was drawing women to me that hated men. And here's the thing that I'm realizing. When you start looking at other people's shit, be ready to step into your own shit. But the beautiful part about it is the more you step in your shit, the more you understand you don't want to step in there because you're smelling it. And another thing, the beauty is it's going to lead you to something that you're going to understand truly about yourself. And the one thing here, I'm thinking, well, I'm drawing these women in my life, and like I said, I'm not trying to take away from any one of them, that either felt like they were competitive with men, or deep down they had resentment towards men because of whatever their reason is. But when I really got vulnerable with myself and really looked at why, because remember, likes attract likes. That's law of attraction. I hated men. I hated men. And I can justify it by saying, you know, when I was a kid, I just wanted to be appreciated, loved, just like any other kid does. And Dad, I love you, never taken away from you. He's not with us no more in the physical body, but he's still around me spiritually. Matter of fact, he's close to me now. He knows I'm not trying to say anything indirectly about him, because I appreciate my dad. I appreciate the experiences we've had together, but he was never a type of person to encourage you. If you were the type that, you know, in my family, you know, it was about what Dad said that went, and that was all it is to it, not having your own feelings, because that's just part of my path. And then also realizing I was molested twice, and both of them were men, and they were the people that I trusted, and these are people that supposedly cared about me. So when that kind of stuff happens to you, and that's just a few things. I mean, and it's not about dwelling on that shit, but it's about understanding that I had to feel all that. Because when it happened to me at the time, it was like shame, 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 and really, who the fuck am I being ashamed of? The only thing I'm ashamed of is because I didn't understand why the hell it happened to me. And I really wasn't ashamed of that. I just didn't have the understanding of knowing that. So, I had to sit with them feelings because it was what was best for me. Now I'm understanding the only way to refine myself is allow myself to be truly vulnerable to who I truly am. I felt good though, relieved to saying that, y'all. But the thing about it is part of my understanding for myself is when you allow yourself to be very vulnerable, then how are you ever a victim? Because when you truly are able to step back and say, why did I allow this in my life? And understand what you truly learn from that. But here's the thing about it is what you truly felt from that. And then feel it. Truly feel it. Because that's why we're here. We want to feel these experiences. Because the more we feel it, the more we can recognize that this is a fucking pattern that I'm creating for myself so I can understand that either this is what I want or don't want to experience. And it's all right either way because you're never doing anything wrong. You're learning. So the one thing I've learned for myself was, part of my message has been the last couple of weeks. I've only been doing this a couple of weeks and talk about stepping in the unknown because I never know what it's gonna be each week. I got the message was going to be about vulnerability on probably about Thursday. That was about it. And anytime I try to think about it, it's inappropriate. But it's all good. It's all good because I'm so open to this. And this is the thing about it is when we truly, truly open ourselves up to be vulnerable, it's not that we're being vulnerable to anything but ourselves. Trying to let that jet get by. They're playing right over us. Nice soundtrack anyways. I blasted off. It's all good. And anyways, I might not be jumping back right exactly where I was at, but what I learned from myself this week is when we're truly vulnerable with ourselves, we can expand in ways that we don't even realize, because also another way of being vulnerable with ourselves is stepping into the unknown. But you're stepping into the unknown because you're inspired to. You're inspired that this is what I want to experience to help me expand as my individual soul. Because we're all worthy and deserving of it. But here's some of the other cool stuff, and I'm asking for guidance on exactly how I'm supposed to word this, because I think I'm supposed to mention this. When we look at everything through love and compassion, and we feel it in our hearts, and then we feel it, and then it radiates into our whole body, and then our body will change in ways that we don't know. I mean, I didn't experience all them years in a wheelchair and allow myself to be so disconnected. I was on all them drugs and shit. And it's not because I'm holding anything against anybody. It's realizing stepping into the unknown for me was a big step, was throwing down all them drugs and deciding to be happy just to be happy. And that was scary as hell. You're talking about something scary and allowing myself to be vulnerable. And so anytime that now that I disconnect, and I'm not really disconnecting, I just feel that way because I'm judging myself. But when I allow myself to be truly vulnerable and open myself up to expand in all ways, that you never know where it's going to lead us. You never know where it's going to lead us. So what I would encourage everybody to do is connect with yourself. And lots of ways, and when I shared this with y'all last week, I believe, about meditating, taking that 10 minutes in the morning. There's no wrong or right way. Just set the clock. Set the intentions that you're going to connect with your higher self. Connect with your heart space, however you want to word it. Connect with the universe. Connect with God, whatever word you connect with. And just set that intention. And you'll be surprised what it will lead you to. But here's the thing about it is we all have a Christ consciousness in us. And it's not about any box, about any certain religion. What it is you feel that love in you. And you realize how fucking deserving and worthy you are of being loved. But you have to start with you. And here's the thing that makes it beautiful. Being vulnerable with yourself. And not feeling like a victim. Because if you're vulnerable with yourself, oh my God, you have no idea where it's going to lead you. Oh, I mean, I know it. How much better can it get than this? I really mean this. This is so awesome. I get so excited. But if you only do, I play hockey with the Warriors team here in Charleston, and I love all your brothers and whatever. Don't know what that means. But realizing that when you set yourself and put yourself in a unpredictable situation, no matter what it is, and you feel that inspiration to do it, don't let anything hold you back, especially your ego. Love your ego, appreciate it, but your ego will say, you can't do that, you ain't never done that before, whatever. Just say, you know what, I appreciate your ass, but get in the car. Go sit in the car. But you know what? Do it with love, because the only thing you're doing is loving yourself. I feel like this message kind of rambled a little bit, but I always like trying to put a little flavor in it anyways, because I think it's appropriate, because, this shit can't be this serious. But it's so cool. It's so cool. And I love being vulnerable. And I feel so vulnerable right now that it's exhilarating. It's exhilarating. I'm asking if there's anything else they want me to share with y'all. Okay, just remember this. Allow yourself to be that little kid. And here's another mantra I shared with y'all this last week. I dressed it up a little bit. I was inspired to dress it up a little bit. Greg Braden, I heard him actually share this on one of his YouTube things he did, and he's awesome, especially if you want to understand knowledge about how we are expanded as a human race, and how this is not the first time. But anyways, not trying to drift. But anyways, I appreciate the beauty that I live with. That's a mantra I say. I appreciate the beauty that I live with. And I dressed it up. I am appreciating the beauty that I live with. I am appreciating the beauty that I live by. I am appreciating the beauty that I base my life. And here's the coolest part that I just added. This was inspired. I am appreciating the beauty that I have fun with. Because this is supposed to be fun. And remember, love yourself. Love yourself. You're fucking worthy and deserving. I love every single one of y'all. I love every single one. If I could, I would hug every one of you, including myself. I would love to get all of us and just scorch the fire out of you and tell you how worthy and deserving you are. But it's up to you now to allow that to happen to you. I love you very much. I look forward to sharing a message with you next week, or even if I'm inspired before then. This journey's beautiful. This journey is beautiful. I love you all. I love you all and appreciate you all, my brothers and sisters. Thank you.